Hello everybody, it is Thursday, it is Christmas Eve, and just want to wish you a Merry Christmas before we get started on devotions. We've been talking for the last few weeks about the Nativity story, and we are almost finished with it. There's one more part to the Nativity story, and that's the story out of Matthew 2, verses 1 through 12, and it's the story of the wise men, the Magi. There's a lot in this story, a lot that we have wrong, and I'm sure you've heard this, and probably all of you know this, but just want to talk about it one last time for you. I encourage you to read verses 1 through 12 of Matthew chapter 2, but I'm just going to start at verse 9. After the Magi had heard the King Herod in Jerusalem, they went on their way, and the star that they had seen when it rose went ahead of them, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to their country by another route. And so, what's in the story, of course, is it's not three kings who came to visit Jesus on the night he was born. And in fact, everything about that statement is not biblical. I have no problem at all with putting wise men as part of nativity scenes. I don't even care if they have crowns on their head. But Scripture doesn't say how many there were. There is a tradition in the Catholic Church that there were three, and they are even named Belteshazzar, Melchior, and Casper. But we don't know how many, and we certainly don't know their names. It's not recorded in the Scriptures. All we know is they brought three gifts, and that's where we get the idea that there were three wise men. And also, it does not say in the Bible that the wise men went to the stable where the infant was. The Scripture says it went to the house. The star directed them to the house, not where the infant is, but where the child is. And that word child indicates that Jesus is beyond the baby stage. And just going off of the later story from King Herod, Jesus is probably around 2 years old by this point. And so the wise men find the baby and present him with those gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And I'm not even going to address that, what those gifts represent. But the interesting thing is that this story usually begins the season of Epiphany, the season directly following Christmas. 12 days after Christmas Day is the day of Epiphany. And what Epiphany means is revelation, revealed. How is Jesus revealed in his various roles? And that's what we look at during the season of Epiphany. And it's really interesting that the king is revealed first, not to the Jewish elite, not to Jewish rulers, not to the Jewish religious class, but to foreigners, Gentiles. God's plan throughout the birth of Jesus is just so intricate, and everything about it reveals God's love, not just to his people Israel, but to everyone, all nations, all peoples. So this birth of Jesus is for us. And it's wonderful, good news. Celebrate Christmas this year. Spend some time reflecting. Jesus Christ is born to you. So God bless. Hope to see you at communion tonight, at our drive-through communion here at the church. But if not, Merry Christmas.